Arkansas, a shooting leaves 2 people dead and several others injured at a grocery store. The Supreme Court issues a ruling surrounding gun rights for people accused of domestic abuse. We'll break down the justice's decision and the potential implications. Plus, relentless heat is impacting millions of Americans with relief still days away. Well, that shooter is in custody after opening fire at an Arkansas grocery store on Friday. I believe that there is a press conference that is beginning with officials there. We want to take you there now.
911 calls were received that there was an active shooting situation at the Mad Butcher grocery store in Fordyce. Law enforcement responded immediately and exchanged gunfire with a lone suspect. Unfortunately, we can confirm that 11 innocent civilians were shot and 3 of those are deceased. 2 law enforcement officers were injured in the exchange of gunfire. The suspect was also shot and taken into custody. The injuries to the officers and the suspect are not considered life-threatening. The remaining civilian injuries range from non-life-threatening to extremely critical. The investigation is in its early stages, and we have no information or no more information that we can release at this time. The Arkansas State Police will be the lead investigative agency, and all media inquiries should be routed through our communications department. We do anticipate a further news release later in the evening. I've been in constant contact with Governor Sanders. She's committed any resources needed to aid in this investigation or any support needed for the community of Fordyce and Dallas County. To reiterate the total numbers, we had 11 civilians shot. 3 of those are deceased, and we do have some that are critical. We have 2 law enforcement officers that were shot. Neither of their injuries are considered to be life-threatening, and we had 1 suspect that was shot, is in custody. His injuries are also not life-threatening. Just on behalf of the state police, the law enforcement community, all public and first responders, it's tragic. Our hearts are broken. Our prayers, along with Governor Sanders, the entire state of Arkansas, will be with this community and with those affected victims. Thank you.
All right, we just heard officials there in Fordyce saying that 11 people were shot. Of those, 3 were deceased. I want to bring in now retired FBI Special Agent Kathy Guider. She is also the Vice President of Operations at Veracity IIR, a global intelligence investigation and research firm. And unfortunately, I speak with you too often during these types of events. So we heard from officials that there are 3 civilians that were deceased. 2 law enforcement officials were shot. Their wounds, it looks like at this point, are non-life-threatening. The suspect was also shot, is now in police custody. Talk to us about the very first hours of an investigation. What's happening now?
Right now, they've got a lot of different things going on. You've got people on the scene who are collecting evidence, keeping that scene secure, and making sure that the evidence response teams come in and do what they need to do to collect the evidence, to photograph everything. So you have people on the scene taking care of that part of the investigation. And you also have officers who will be at the hospital. Depending on the shooter's injuries, they're reporting non-life-threatening, but they still may not be able to talk to him at this point in time due to his medical treatment. So as soon as he is cleared for doctors to say that he's able to be interviewed, there will be officers, agents, detectives, ready to interview him as soon as that starts. Other people are also going to be in the background, conducting the research on this shooter, trying to find everything they know about him, what he was doing on social media, what was going on his phone or devices. So there's going to be a lot of different aspects happening at the same time.
And Kathy, how important is it for law enforcement officials that shooter is in fact still alive as they're trying to ask all of these questions?
Right. I mean, that's, going to give them, hopefully the motive that when he is able to talk to him, when the doctors do clear him, to speak with investigators, that he should be able to give them a lot of information. So, that's important because that'll give you motive, that'll give you, all the other parts of where he got the weapon, and things of that nature.
All right. Kathy Guider, a former special agent with the FBI. Appreciate you. Thanks.